Okay, so I'm really excited to do this tonight because if you didn't know, I was in Nashville. I was in Nashville this weekend with a few other ladies on our team, and just the value of things that we got this weekend. Number one, if you've never been to an event, especially like if you're new, I would really challenge you. I'm challenging myself to definitely travel to different places I've never traveled before this year. So if there's like ever an event in your city, because I know that they're actually going to be doing more, then if there's ever an event like near you or in your city, I will literally come travel wherever you are and come like do it with you because they're just so valuable and the things that you get. Like you're sitting across or sitting right beside millionaires all around you, and some of you guys aren't money driven. I totally understand that, but it still is so much value even if you aren't money driven, because you're like, oh my goodness, like I'm sitting next to a millionaire, like I'm sitting next to a multimillionaire, I'm sitting next to these people who are just like me and they just decided to go for it and decide just to do something within their life and change it. And some of these girls' stories are, Rachel Jones, for instance, hung out with her all weekend, and her story was she was on food stamps for the longest time. She was an 18-year-old mom, and she had kids when she was young. She did everything backwards. She could not afford to do anything without coupons, and so different stories, and you hear so many people go through the struggle, or some people didn't even go through the struggle. They just never wanted to go through that struggle, so they needed an extra income. Whatever your story is, know that your story is valuable. I'll kind of get into that, but what I really wanted to talk about tonight and what I had titled this was, well, actually, hold on, let me get my notes. The stopping the limiting beliefs. And we didn't record any of the stuff this weekend because it was more of like personal and stuff like that. And so one of the things that was a panel, and Cami had people get on stage, and it was very random. She just picked someone in the audience and she was like, you come up here if you have a limiting belief. And she pulled people on stage and she was like, tell me something that is a barrier that holds you back from believing that anything is possible within your business, within your life, whatever. And so many girls had different stories saying that they were bullied, or that, their mom they grew up with their mom being a drug addict and they never thought that they'd be good enough or whatever. And it was just so crazy because the limiting beliefs that they had were the same ones that I had in different forms. And I'll tell you all kind of something that happened today. So I was on my way back from Nashville. I was on such a high. Whenever you go on like leadership retreats, or whenever you do any type of an event for an It Works event, I'm telling you guys, again, get to one if you can. Whenever you get done with one, your high is so large. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready just to do all the things. I literally got on the road to like, right, it was like 20 minutes outside of Nashville. Okay. So I was only on the road for 20 minutes. I was feeling myself. I was feeling so excited. I was like, oh, I have this person to talk to. I have this person to talk to. I'm so excited. And then all of a sudden I was listening to worship music. And then all of a sudden the lies kept creeping into my head. And it was like, but why would you ever think that you could be those millionaires? Or why do you ever think that you could have 10 diamonds on stage? Or why do you ever think you could have 10 moms who are on your team retire themselves with this business? Like, why? And all these different thoughts came into my head. And I was like, wow, it is so crazy how like quickly the enemy can attack you in a moment of you being at your highest of highs. And so I don't know where everybody's mindset is, but if I had to guess, I know that there's probably a few people on here that are questioning if they could do something like this or if they keep even continue. There's some people on the verge of thinking, wow, am I even meant for this? Do I even want to put in the energy for this? Do I even want to do this? And there's some people that are like, no, I'm here for life. Like I'm a lifer. Okay. And okay. Morgan just commented saying I am. And honestly, I respect you so much for your openness right now. I respect that a lot because a lot of people wouldn't do that. So I knew that I was speaking to someone. So there are some people that are like doubting every ability that you have. And something that I want you to know is that if you showed up tonight, number one, you're worthy of it. But number two, sometimes it's just getting past those barriers of belief. And this business is 80% mindset, and anything else you do in your life is 80% mindset. And I'm telling you, I can be at my highest of highs, and the people on stage who are millionaires, the people on stage who are literally bringing in $100,000 a month, the people who are people who are just so beyond successful and love Jesus and all the things, they are still talking about their limiting beliefs. So don't ever think that those limiting beliefs are ever going to go away when you reach the next level, or when you make a certain amount of money, or when you reach something in this business. It's never going to go away, but it's what you do with those limiting beliefs that get you to where you're going. You're probably stuck in some type of like rut, or you're probably stuck in where you don't want to be because you've allowed those limiting beliefs, or you've allowed those negative thoughts just consume your head. Okay. And I'm so tired of seeing people beat up themselves so much. And I'm talking to myself And that's when I had noticed today, I was like, wow, I'm at my ultimate high. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so close to earning the success bonus. I'm so close to helping these girls win on my team. And then the enemy just comes and attacks again. So just know that you're not alone. But then one of the things that I'll kind of go over, and if you know me and if you've been on a Zoom with me before, my notes are all over the place. So just bear with me and not organized. It's fine. So it'll kind of go out of order. But I just had like some nuggets from this weekend that were shared from the people that I was around. And one of them was, they said, when you ask someone's opinion, you also buy into their lifestyle. And what this means is, number one, if you are someone who has been really excited before and you prematurely shared a dream with someone, or you prematurely shared something with someone that wasn't quite ready to hear what you were about to say because you're dreaming or thinking a little bit bigger outside of your comfort zone, and they ruined it for you, you're buying into their lifestyle. And so what that means also, and I'll break that down, is maybe you've shared something with a friend, or you've shared something with a potential distributor in this business, and you're like, I know that you could do this business too, and they're like, nah, it isn't for me, or nah, I've tried that before, or no, I don't believe in those type of things, or whatever. And it kind of beats down your confidence. Well, then you go share a dream with your spouse, or you go share it with a family member, and you're like, you guys, like, I'm so excited, I just started this business, or I've been in this business for a while, I've been in a rut, but I'm really excited, I'm going after this $10,000 bonus. And they were like, but are you? But could you? But would you? Is that even possible? How hard do you have to work to get that? So it doesn't matter whatever frame of reference you're in, but these limiting beliefs start coming into your mind, and you're telling your dreams prematurely to people who just don't have the capacity to handle them. And so that was one little thing. And I don't know who this is speaking to, but I know it's speaking to someone, is when you ask someone's opinion, you're automatically blocking your own beliefs, and you're automatically buying into their lifestyle. So if you're around people constantly, I know my friends, they're so broke they can't afford half their bills. Okay. So like when I go tell them things, I'm very cautious about what I say. When I was going to pay off my student debt, and if you don't know this about my story, I became completely debt free because of this business, which I paid off my car and I paid off my student debt, and that was all around 30 something $1,000. So it's just to give you a realistic number. So for instance, that's more than they make in a year. $30,000. So I wasn't going to sit here and tell them, you guys, I'm about to pay off my debt. Did not tell them that. I called one of my family members who makes triple amount of what I do. And I was like, do you think I'm crazy? And she's like, no, go for it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. She was excited for me. After the fact that I went and did what I did and paid off my debt, that's when I messaged my friends and let them know, I just want to let you know, it's not that I'm boasting about myself. I just want to let you know that I did this and I'm very proud of myself. And all of them were like, you did what now? Huh? Like, that's cool. That's awesome. They didn't do much. They were just like, okay, cool. And I was like, that kind of hurt a little bit. That kind of hurt. Like, that kind of sound like you aren't proud of me. You're going to say, like, I don't know. It's not the fact that I need like cheerleaders. It's just the fact that they're my best friends and I hang out with them, and they didn't really say anything. So I've been in that position. So make sure that you're careful with what type of dreams that you share with different people, especially with people you find in this business on social media too. If you're going after a bonus, claim that bonus. If you're going after a promotion or just $300 a month, you guys, I want you to claim that so much to the point where you get on people's nerves. And I'm being so honest when I say this, because some of you guys are chasing after something that nobody knows that you're chasing after. You are chasing after $300 a month and nobody knows you even do this business. You're chasing after $400 what is it, the $350 bonus and $150 bonus, a $500 bonus total. And that, if you don't know anything about this business, that's a $350 bonus when you sign a distributor, and help them get a distributor and friends too. So if you have any questions about that, ask me or ask your enroller. But nobody knows that you're going after if you're not going to speak about it. So speak about it. And if you have people who are haters and they're like, how are you doing this? This isn't possible. You can't make that much money in this much month. Don't listen to them. Just don't tell them prematurely your dreams, okay? And so this was another thing that was shared this weekend. And it said, it was two questions that Cami asked on stage. And she said, why not me? And then why not now? And so what she had people do was, she said, why, ask yourself, why not me? Like, why do you actually think that you can't do the things that you want to do? Why do you think you can't do this business? Why do you think that you can't earn a success bonus? Why do you think that you can't earn $350 bonuses endlessly? Like, why do you think that you can't do that? So she had you write down the limiting beliefs. She gave you a second, and she was just like, write down things or think of things in your head. I would really advise you to write things down, because when you write things down, it's actually more like it's better for your brain. So write down why do you think everything that comes to your mind, why don't you think you're eligible? Why don't you think you're capable? One of the things was for me is my family. My family, I've never seen my family be so successful before. I've seen people that like in my family who are successful now, but I'm talking about directly related to me as far as like affects me. My parents are so broke they're drowning in debt. So for me, I'm like, why do I think I could do this? Another thing is when it asked the question why not me, one of the limiting beliefs was because you've never done it before. So one thing that I actually learned on a training course last week in leadership was your brain can only think of things that had already happened. And so when you think of past event, or when you think of future events, it's because it's being related to the things that have happened in the past. So for instance, when you think of, okay, I'm going to go diamond, I'm going to go this in 50 days, I'm going to go earn the success bonus, your brain is automatically thinking, but it's never happened before, so it's not possible. That's an actual statistic. I'm not making this up. This actually came from like legitimate statistics. So your brain is already counting yourself out. So what you have to do is really, really counteract that. And you have to work really, really hard to make sure that you don't give in to those limiting beliefs, even when they're there. And so some of you guys, I know I'm talking to some people on here. Some of you guys are letting those fears and letting those doubts talk to you so much that you believe it to where you're on the verge of either giving up, you're on the verge of quitting, you're on the verge of thinking all these negative things, you're on the verge of thinking it's just impossible, it's too hard, it's all these negative things, and these things aren't serving you, okay? So one of the things that she said on stage this weekend was take quitting off the table. Like when you actually take quitting off the table, it allows you to release those excuses as to why you can't do certain things. When you know that you're not giving up, when you know you're not quitting, you don't have anywhere to put those excuses. So you know that, okay, well, if I don't give up, well, I guess I have to keep going. I guess I have to keep trying. So you kind of have to switch your mentality, and it's probably going to take you a second, especially if you are someone who has really dove into some negative thinking lately. To really flip that switch. So I would really value personal development during this time. And I would really value journaling every single day, the reasons why you really actually could be successful. And I'm not saying write down things that like, well, I could be successful. I don't know. I can't think of an example right now, but what I would want you to do is journal out all the reasons, like whatever you think negative, write the opposite of that. And I'm not saying that your brain is going to believe it right now. I'm not saying that at all, because I've been in this business almost 7 years, you guys, and I combat negative feelings every single day, or negative thoughts, but I combat them, and I've been very successful because I combat those thoughts. I don't let them sit in my head. I don't let them marinate. When I feel them coming along, I'm going to go turn on some Jesus music, or I'm going to go turn on something that is going to uplift me. Some of you guys are avoiding that at all costs. You're just like, well, I'm just going to sit in these feelings because I know they're valid, because I haven't made a paycheck yet, or because I haven't been to the rank that I want to get to yet, or because I lost rank, or because volume is blah, blah. You could tell yourself so many different stories. It's not even funny. So that's one thing. When negative thoughts come into your mind, I really want to challenge you to journal those negative thoughts out, to really think about those and journal those out, and then go back and write all the things like opposite. For me, I know for me, my limiting belief is there's absolutely no way that you can take people to the top of this company with you. Like that's one of the limiting beliefs. Do I think that that's true? No. I don't think it's true, but it's one of the thoughts that comes to my head because I haven't done it before. And because I'm not top 150 yet either. And so it automatically thinks, well, you're not worthy. You can't do that. And so if you do have those negative limiting beliefs, you guys, I'm telling you, it's going to take some time. And this was something that I was going to talk about in my notes, is that it's going to be a shift that's going to take time. And so if you are someone who's very impatient, which I feel like is the majority of us, if you're someone who's very impatient and you're like, okay, I'm going to give it a week, or I'm going to give it a week, 2 weeks, or I'm going to give it a month. If it doesn't, I ain't changing it. It ain't for me. Okay. I was talking to a corporate person. We're actually going to do a team Zoom with her. Some of the girls met her this weekend, and she's literally the most amazing human you'll ever meet. And they were like, I love this girl so much. Why is she not in my life? Seriously, you're going to want to mini her when you meet her. So she's going to host a Zoom for us privately. But one of the things that she had mentioned was, she was talking about how like, I just lost my train of thought. I do that. It's okay. It's fun. I just lost it. It will come back to me in like 5 seconds. But she was talking about, one of the things that she was talking about is completely opposite of what I was going to say, is that you add value to your story, and your story is what people are going to connect with you with. So when you're out there telling why you joined this business on your social media, you need to share that every single day. You need to share that like it is nobody's business. Okay. You need to share that like you are getting on people's nerves. If you don't know how to tell your story and you don't know how to write your story, ask me or ask your enroller and we'll tell you. But I'm challenging you to literally start today by sharing your story. Start tonight. I share every single day with y'all, me sharing my story on my page. I share it with you guys. I'm leading from the front. I'm not leaving anything out for y'all. So there's no like secret sauce. Okay. It's just me sharing my story every day about how I joined this business when I was a broke college student. For you, some of you guys, y'all are brand new. I see some of y'all's names and I'm like, I'm so proud of y'all for being on. Some of y'all are brand new and you're like, I don't have a story yet. No, you have a story because you joined this business for some reason. So tell people why you joined this business and then give them a hope and a future that they could do something like this too and take that leap of faith, because some people are so scared. So I finally remember what I was going to talk about. So going back to the topic of what I was going to talk about. So one of the things that she had, when I was talking to this girl on the Zoom, she was giving me all this like futuristic stuff. She was like, just wait, you're going to be making millions. Your team's going to be making millions. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be successful. And I was like, okay, but when? Like, okay, so can you give me a timeline? I literally asked her, I said, okay, so should I expect 6 months to a year? And she was like, sister, you cannot put a timeline on these things. You can only trust the process. And I was like, but I don't like trusting the process. And she's like, it's going to be a growth spurt. You're going to be taking moments and moments, and like you're going to be taking it in day by day, and you have to enjoy the process along the way. And so that's one thing that I want to teach you is when you're showing up for yourself and you're doing the things necessary in this business, that's the number one step, is to obviously make sure you're doing the stuff in this business. If you're not where you want to be in this business, I know, I'm going to be honest, it's probably about 99% of the reason is because of your work ethic. If you're that 1% who actually does all the things and you aren't where you want to be, it's your mindset. It's 100% your mindset, and it's your limiting beliefs that have been blocking you for so long. But trust the process. So when you're diving deep into like why you have these limiting beliefs and you're journaling out all the negative thoughts and doing the things that I'm telling you to do, it's going to take time. So don't be that person that's like, I thought I would be over these negative feelings within 6 days after doing this, or I thought I would be over these negative feelings within 1 month, or I thought I'd be over it in 2 months, or whatever. You guys, trust the process. Please, please trust the process, and just know that it's going to happen over time. I started doing this like really, really diving heavily into like really battling like the thoughts in my head. By Winning the War in Your Mind is the book that I started, and I started it last year. So I've been going on about a year of this, and I can tell you I grab control so much more quickly onto the negative thoughts than I used to. And I definitely think that's where I saw the shift in my business, from being that I had the most successful year I've ever had in my business last year, and it literally keeps getting better. Okay. And with that being said, I've told y'all, and I'll tell y'all again, I'm so close to earning the success bonus. And it was only because I actually decided that I was not going to give in to the negative thoughts. Like, it was literally one flip of a switch about, I don't know, 2.5 weeks ago. And I was like, I'm so sick of counting myself out for things. This is pathetic. Like, this is actually pathetic of why I count myself out for things. I'm not doing it anymore. And it flipped a switch. And then it was just like abundance, like flew to me. And it wasn't like because God was blocking abundance for me. It was, I was blocking my abundance. It was like he was trying to hand me a blessing and he was like smacking me in the face with it. But I was like, no, not right now. I'm listening too much to these negative thoughts. That's what you're doing. If you're not where you want to be, that's literally what you're doing. And that was something that they were talking about this weekend with like the 4-in-1 system, and just talking about like a lot of vision casting for the future in this business. Is this business is simple, and they're making it more simple by the 4-in-1 system. They're making it more simple by the 14 easy packets. They're making it more simple for us. And some people are going to remain stuck because you choose to remain stuck, because you choose to keep living in those lies that your mind keeps telling you. So if you haven't downloaded or gotten the book Winning the War in Your Mind, that's one thing that I'm going to advise you to do. Even if you're not a super spiritual person, my job on earth is obviously to really, give people guidance to God anyways. So I'm just going to not apologize for it. So get Winning the War in Your Mind as the book. That's a really, really good book that can start off. And then secondly, journal out those thoughts that keep coming to you, and do this every day. So don't skip a day, and don't think that it's not important. So I want you to start doing these things because, like I said, I want to see a shift in this team. The girls that I've been working with one-on-one with in this business, I can tell you guys the shift that I have personally seen within them is so incredible. And I know the success as far as what they are thinking their success is on, like, it's on the verge of happening. It is definitely on the verge of happening. It's because their mindset is finally catching up with what they're actually made for. And I'm telling you with this for myself too, like I got the 1099 back this year for what we made this past year. And I was like, I'm very proud of myself, but I'm worth so much more. Like, I'm worth so much more. And that's finally when I just decided to write on sticky notes, write on all my mirrors. And I was just like, I'm worth so much more. I have it on my phone and it says on my background, hold on. People text me, so I have to clear this out. So I have on my background, and if you didn't watch the conference, there was a sermon that Daniels, something Daniels, he's really great. I listened to him. I can't think of his name right now, but he was talking about wrestling until you win. And that's literally my background. It says wrestle until you win. And basically what he meant by that is wrestling with your mind, wrestling with the thoughts, wrestling with all the negativity, wrestling with things in your life that you thought you would never overcome, wrestling until you actually win. So take quitting off the table is literally what he said. So it goes back to what I had said earlier. Take quitting off the table. If you're not where you want to be in this business, number one, check your mindset, check your limiting beliefs. Chances are there are a lot of limiting beliefs. Most of us are at least 21 years or older. I don't think we have, I'm looking at everybody on here. I don't think anybody is like 18. So that's like 20, 21 years, 25 years, 26 years, 30 years of negative thoughts coming into your mind as a kid. From childbirth, literally negative thoughts were flowing into your mind. So it's going to take a lot of unbreaking barriers for your positive thoughts to overcome those negative thoughts. And so if I know where I'm going this year. I'm not dragging people along. I'm not going to sit here and beg someone to work. I'm not going to sit here and beg someone to do personal development, because at the end of the day, I can't want it for you, but I know where I'm going and I know where I'm headed and I know the excitement that I have. And I'm just like genuinely asking, and you don't have to answer in the chat or anything, but I'm just wondering who's going with me. And if you're going with me, this is the one thing that I need you to know is, number one, I'm going to be your biggest supporter. You should already know that. I know everybody on here, you should already know that I'm your biggest supporter. I'll be your biggest fan. And I'll help you every single step of the way. But number two is, I can't do it for you. So you're going to have to do the homework of what's necessary to combat your negative thinking, to combat the negative mindsets when negative thoughts do come through, because we're human. Negative thoughts are going to come through. You're not going to not have these happen. When things happen, especially when you're on this really big high, like I said, I'm on a very big high right now. I'm really close to earning success bonus. My newbies are killing it. We have girls coming into this business with such high energy. I love it. I'm on this high, but the devil still tried to attack me today, saying, you know what? Why do you think you're actually worthy of this? When I signed up 2 team members last week on Friday, when I signed them up, I was so excited. And then immediately the devil was like, but why? Why do you actually think that you could be successful? Again, you guys, after the success that's rolling in. So I'm just letting you know, it's not going to go away unless you try and combat it. And so I really, really want to challenge you to do this. And some of you guys, again, this is a statistic. When people get on Zooms or trainings, 1% of you are actually going to do the work necessary to move forward. And then the rest of you are going to stay where you're at. And so I really challenge you, like, be that 1%, be that person that's actually going to do the work necessary. And I promise you, when you take the time and you value that time and you're like, okay, and you have the long-term thinking, you know that it's going to take a little bit longer. So it's not going to be an overnight thing, but when you're working on it day in and day out and you're like, I know this is going to over time really get me to where I want to go, it's going to hold you in longer too. You're going to be like, okay, I'm thinking long-term, because right now, like, I literally have a goal. I want to be making $10,000 monthly, and I don't make that right now. I want to be making $10,000 monthly within the next 2 months. Like, that is my goal. Like, I want to be making that. Am I there right now? No, but I have a long-term thinking, and I'm like, but I'm going to get there. I know I'm going to get there, but right now I'm not there, but I know I'm going to get there. So the long-term thinking keeps me here. It keeps me excited, because like, I'm very grateful where I'm at, but I'm not close to where I want to be. And I know everybody on here is the same exact way. So you just kind of have to choose. And then another thing, let me see. Like I said, these notes are all over the place, but hopefully this is giving you value in some way. Um, uh, um, okay. So I think that's all I had as far as, oh, nope. This is what I was going to share. So when I was talking about sharing your story, and then we can end this because I know it was only a 30-minute Zoom. So when we were talking about telling your story, they were talking about a lot on stage this week about how valuable your story is. And when we were talking on stage, if you didn't know, I spoke on stage this week. That was something that was on my dream board that I wanted to knock off. So again, your dreams can come true. But something that they were talking about is they were like, you guys, you can give all the tips in the world that you want, but the one thing that people want to hear the most is your story. People can relate to your story, and your story is going to give someone hope that doesn't have that hope right now. So going back to your story, you joined your enroller on here, you joined me, you joined whoever you joined because you heard their story at some point. So you know that your story is valuable. You know that that person that you joined story is valuable. You know that it is. So don't sit here and think that you're not valuable or that you don't have add value because you still live at your parents' house and you're 30 years old, or that you don't have kids or whatever. You add value no matter where you're at in your business, no matter where you're at in your life. And so I saw this quote right before I hopped on here, so it was perfect timing. And it said, don't underestimate the power of your story. You could be changing someone's whole world just by being you. And when we got off stage, one of the corporate teams hopped on stage and she was like, this is so unplanned, but I just wanted to let y'all know I'm actually amazed. Like, my biggest aha moment is how authentic y'all are. Like, y'all got on the stage and all of y'all told y'all stories, like the realest, rawest version of your stories. That's what people want to see, you guys. You don't have to have some tragedy happen. I know some girls like Audrey didn't have anything crazy happen. She just joined because she wanted some extra money. You know, not all of y'all have like sob stories, and I understand that. So just tell people where you're headed with this business. Giving people hope within this business and within your life is going to get you where you want to go. When you uplift people at the bottom, you know, cream rises from the bottom, I think is the term. I don't freaking know, but you're going to get people from the bottom and you're going to lift them up. And when you lift them up, you're also going to be lifted up yourself. So make sure you're sharing your story. Make sure you're telling your story. If you're on my team and you just joined, if you're on my team, or y'all are on my team, but if you just joined and we haven't talked about sharing your story yet, we'll get to that. We're going to create your story. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're open to that. Make sure you're doing your homework of getting your mindset right, because I don't want to even know how many of you are neglecting personal development. I don't even want to know how many people are actually not taking personal development seriously, and you get up and go to work and don't even think twice about doing personal development. You get up and take care of your kids and don't even pour into yourself. Please do it. Please do it. And again, like I said, I don't know who's coming with me. I don't know who will be here in 6 months. I don't know who will be here in a year. I don't know who will be with me in the next 2 weeks, but all I know is I'm so excited. I want to see you guys earn your success bonuses. And this was the last tip that I was going to give too, is especially if you're new, we will get to this, but if you don't have your trackers for your success bonuses and just your 4-in-1 bonuses, you need this out. You need a roadmap to where you're going to go. If you don't have this out, this is probably 100% chance why you're not where you want to be too. And I can tell you from experience, that's why I wasn't like where I was wanting. And as soon as I printed these things out, and it's just a roadmap to teach you, like, you have your 400 friend. Okay, your 400 friend needs a 400 friend. As soon as you get this out, it's going to give you a roadmap. You guys, as soon as I printed this thing out and actually started utilizing it, so organized with this thing, and it made me hyped up because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only 1 customer away from 150. I'm only 2 customers away from helping this girl get her 350. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So get this out, okay? Lead from the front. Freaking do it. Do your homework. Do mindset stuff. Do all the things necessary, okay? So hopefully this helps. I want you guys to really combat your mindsets. I really want y'all to know the things that you are capable of are so much more than what you're doing now. Okay. If you have not been doing the work that you know that you are dang well capable of, start there. Please, for the love of Jesus, start there. Please do the work. Okay. But on top of that, combat those negative thoughts. You're going to have negative thoughts come in tomorrow. You're going to have negative thoughts come in right after the Zoom. You're going to have negative thoughts come in 2 days from now. You're going to have them come in, you guys, okay? But it's what you do with those negative thoughts that's going to make a difference. You cannot let them sit there and ponder and just like create in your mind this big hole of the reasons why you can't do this, or why you can't be successful, or why you can't be the mom that you want to be, or why you can't be this future wife that you want to be. Okay, you can. You actually really can. The Bible says, and I'm butcher everything in the Bible because I'm still learning so much about it, but the Bible says the power of what you speak is on your tongue, or like the power of what happens in your life comes from your tongue. So what you speak actually matters. And I was listening to a sermon today, and they literally said that over and over and over and over and over again. And there's a reason why mindset is so important. There's a reason why what you speak over your life, over your business, over your things that you want in your house, in your life. If you don't want those things happening in your life, stop speaking them over. I get that there's a venting point in your life, but stop sitting here and texting your enroller, or stop texting your sideline sister, or your friend in this business, or your friend that doesn't do this business, and saying, girl, let me just tell you about the day that I had. This went wrong. Of course this always went wrong because this is me. This is our life. No. Stop speaking that over yourself, dude. Stop speaking that over yourself. If I could tell you how many testimonies I have, literally this weekend, we got free valet parking. I found money on the street, and then something else happened. I don't know. Really great things happened to me. Really, like, blessings literally flocked to me because I'm constantly speaking that over myself daily. And my friends get amazed. Like, we'll find the best parking places. We'll get things for free all the time. We'll get a lot of different things happen to us. And I'm like, it's because I'm a blessing magnet. And they look at me and they're like, and I'm like, no, I'm being dead serious. Like, things just happen naturally to me. I'm just a blessing magnet. Start speaking that confidence over yourself. Your life is worth it. Your business is worth it. Your kids are worth it. You're worth it. Everything is worth it, but you're not going to actually see the results that you want until you start believing it yourself. And you're not going to even believe it if you don't do the action necessary to do it. So hopefully this helps. I love you guys. And I hope you know that how much love is spread across for you. Let me stop this recording.